Today I'm starting a new Bible study series reading the book of James. And if you're looking for something to read in your Bible, I would love for you to join me in reading James over the next 5 days. James is 5 chapters, and so over the next 5 days, each day I'll be reading one chapter of James and then posting a video sharing what I liked and what stood out to me about the chapter for that day. And if you read James with me, I would love for you to share what you like too in the comments. And in this way, we can have our own Bible study on the book of James to learn and grow in the Word together. So if you want to join me in this, I would love that. This is what stood out to me about chapter 1 today. Chapter 1 is so full of so many good things. James 1 is one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. And what stood out to me today are two things that I often refer back to this chapter for. The first one is asking God for wisdom. Verse 5 says, "If any of you lack wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." The book of Proverbs talks about how valuable wisdom is, how it's worth more than gold, and how it's something we should strive to attain. And I love seeing in this verse that something this valuable, all we have to do is just ask God for it, and He freely gives it to us. And so I want to remember this verse today and remember to ask God for wisdom. And the second thing that I refer back to this chapter for is facing trials. This chapter talks a lot about facing trials, and the perspective that it uses is so good because it's not typically the perspective that we would have. It says to consider it pure joy when we face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. I don't know about you, but I typically don't consider it pure joy whenever I'm facing trials of many kinds. But this perspective allows us to see the good in it, to see the purpose in it, and to look for something bigger than our circumstances to bring us joy. In verse 12 talks about, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." So we are also blessed when we persevere under trial, because we know that the Lord has something for us on the other side of it. And while it may be hard, it's only temporary. And I like verse 9 that talks about how believers in humble circumstances ought to take pride in their high position. What a good verse, and it shows what it's like to look at our circumstances from God's perspective. And so in reading today, I was encouraged to ask God for wisdom, and to change my perspective when facing trials, to one that can find the good and find joy even in hard times, to one that sees that I can still call myself blessed even under trial, and to one that knows that God has good things in store on the other side. And so this is what stood out to me today. I'd love to know what you liked about James chapter 1. You can let me know in the comments. I'd love for you to join me in reading the book of James this week. Let's keep a daily Bible habit together. I'm praying that God speaks to us through His Word each and every day. Thanks so much for joining me today. Come back tomorrow for day 2, where we'll look at chapter 2 of James.